the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome in here tonight, race fans, to the Daytona International Speedway, the world center of racing. The season here tonight for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series is back, presented by Red Light Racing. It all starts here, 15 weeks with some of the best sim racers on the iRacing.com platform. We're here on the Turn 3 Racing Network to bring you all the racing action for the Red Light Racing Series. And to call all that racing action, my name is Roger Muth here in the booth tonight to bring you all that action from start to finish, not only tonight, but for the entire season here. We call Thursday night's race, and well, what a short track banger that was. Now we can't wait to open it up here tonight to see which one of these drivers are able to wheel and deal their Xfinity stock cars here tonight to victory lane. It's been 15 seasons of champions in the books with the Scrambler Series, and this is season number 16 to see who will be able to take home a championship. The format for the season, 10-race regular season. Have to race 50% of the regular season to qualify for the post-race. Well, I say post-race, post-season championship, and we'll see who will do that. Then it's another 5 races to wrap up the season to crown a championship. We'll go 12 to 8 to the final 4. That's how the format will go. And well, the question coming into the season is, who are some of the drivers that are still around? Well, we got that for you here. Take a look at some of the drivers that are returning. That's just some of the drivers that you will see in competition racing action this season. Some of those drivers, I know you're going to say it, Roger, they are not on the scoring pylon. That's because some of these drivers have work obligations that have taken them away from tonight's, festivities here for the 65-lap feature event, and they will be here at some point this season. They will all try to qualify themselves in to that championship playoffs that we do have here. But first, it all runs through Daytona. Who will be the fast one? Well, we had some brand new drivers, some rookie drivers towards the top of the boards in our practice session here just a little while ago. Now these drivers in qualifying wrapping up about, call it 30 seconds or so here tonight. Right now, the provisional pole center is the 51 of DJ Anderson, but there's still a lot of drivers that could clock in a time here yet tonight and knock off the 51 of DJ Anderson. Race fans, we do got to thank you tonight here, though, for tuning in, because without all the race fans that are tuning in out on our YouTube channel, we could not have hit 3,000 subscribers. So if this is your first time here tonight to tune into the Turn 3 Racing Network, make sure you hit that bell, hit the subscribe button, get all the notifications anytime we go live, whether it's Dave in the Cave, Upstate Al, if it's Brett the Jet, if it's, well, the lost child of KR, or myself, we bring you racing action 7 days a week here on the Turn 3 Racing Network across all of the iRacing.com platform. And just like that, race fans, qualifying is officially in the books. That means it is time to light the fire underneath these fire-breathing dragons here tonight. And what do you say we go down trackside here tonight and see if we can get that starting lineup here tonight? Starting lineup brought to us by our friends over at Silveratus Legal PLC. You need something handled? Well, look no further than Peyton Johnson and his crew over at Silveratus. This is the starting lineup here tonight for the opening round here at the Daytona International Speedway. Driving the 51, DJ Anderson will take the pole here tonight, while the storm from the north, it blew in here all the way to Daytona. The 42, Max Terrill, will start second. Rookie sensation here tonight, driving car number 39, that'll be William Ridgway. And to his outside, driving the number 62, Craig's Pizza entry, that'll be Ethan Troutman. Back into the fifth spot here tonight, he calls himself an alien. That will be Jason Wells. He will start way, well, towards the front here tonight. Last season, it was a well, he'd like to start a little bit better. Let's just say that. Last year was a little bit of a rough one for Jason Wells. He'll rebound this season. Let's watch. It's the 03 of Thomas Ridgway here tonight, piloting car 03. And to the seventh spot, it's the number 2 out of Florida, car 2, Michael Trevarthen. Peyton Johnson, the driver out of Virginia, will pilot the number 15 here tonight. He'll start in 8th and the 9th position here tonight. It's the Beefy Motorsports. The Feeney call, number 38 of Brandon Feeney. Tony Strano in the number 3 will return. He'll start 10th here tonight. How about the fisherman, James Skelton? He'll go from the 11th starting spot here tonight on the call. Starting back into the next position here, that is going to be the number 12 of Eric Stout. 13th on the call will be the 61 of Dalton Williamson. Joe Strano, new number on the side of that Road Rage Accessories, number 23. That's right, the 23 for Joe Strano here tonight. How about old Richard Murdoch? He makes his return. He'll start back there into the 15th starting spot. 16th will go to the one-time champion, car number 4, Jeffrey Souza, in the Souza Media entry. Number 99, A Cold Day, will start there into the 17th starting spot, while Ryan O'Donnell, the Turbo Dork Radical Paints entry, will roll off from the 18th starting spot. Trent Potter making his, well, I believe this is his 3rd or 4th start here with the series. It'll be car number 28 for him. He'll start 19th. 20th will go to the Granny Hips Walkers and Canes, number 13 of Joshua Buckley. And rolling off from the 21st spot here tonight, the number 8, that is Zach Mitchell. Chris Hammett piloting the number 6 will start back in the 22nd spot, while Tim Combs in 17th will start 23rd. 24th on the call be the number 17 there of Tim Combs. 24th, the Bruce Potter, Donald Bennett in 25th, Rob Higgins in 26th. Josiah Millen in 27th, and car number 55, and Danny Valenzuela, the Mexican, is back there into the 28th spot here tonight. Shotgun to the field, it's going to be the number 30 in the 29th spot. That'll be Bob Higgins. That is our 29-car field here tonight for the opening round here for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series, presented by Red Light Racing. Ready to go. All 29 cars, including Danny Valenzuela, who did not get a practice or qualifying lap in. We'll see if he has his wheels slapped on straight, because now we're ready to go. 65 laps of racing competition, and it starts right now here at Daytona. Everybody coming up through the clunky old 4-speed gearboxes here. This is the NASCAR Xfinity Series machines that we're using here tonight. Scoring pylon on the left-hand side for all the race fans tuning in here tonight and following along with us at home. Look at them as they all come down the back straightaway, 2 by 2 by 2. As far as the eye can see, nobody has made a move to duck out a line here tonight just yet. It's still Anderson to the inside with Terriot to the outside. There is the Silveratus, number 39. William Ridgway pushing on the Baja Blast, number 51. Trying to give him a little bit of a blast to the front here, and it will be the 2 Toyotas on the bottom side of the speedway. They will lead lap number 1 here tonight, so officially 1 lap into the books. Couple of drivers spreading out towards the mid-pack. They have maybe thought about their strategy here. Joshua Buckley diving down to the inside pack there into the 19th spot. There's the checkered flag on display. Granny Hips, Walkers, and Canes. Number 13, the driver out of Massachusetts. He'll duck right ahead of that number 28. That is Trent Potter there you see in the number 28 machine. Battle out front, though, is now 2 cars snuck ahead of that outside lane. There's that 3rd car. That is going to be Jason Wells. He is trying to possibly take a look to see if he can get around. That shot here tonight brought to us by our friends at the checkered flag. Hold us wide. It's onboard camera with DJ Anderson, who is the race leader. See everybody trying to really fight for that bottom side. A lot of these drivers just trying to sit back in line here and ride because they know a long race here tonight. 65 laps is a very long race for these drivers. 42 of Max Terriot still to the outside, and you see that 39 Ridgeway now has jumped to the outside lane here. He'll pull that number 42, the MK Medic Ford Mustang. See if they can get the outside lane to dance. They also have the number 62 of Ethan Troutman. Thomas Ridgeway also up there, and then it's going to be Tony Strano. Then it is the number 12 of Eric Stout to the outside with Ryan O'Donnell. That lap, though, number 3 going in the books here tonight. And that'll still going to be the number 51 of DJ Anderson continuing to lead the way. Drivers towards the back of the field here still trying to hold on to this lead pack as here's 2 cars that are side by side. It is the Race Energy Drink number 04. That is Danny Valenzuela, the driver out of Utah. To his outside, the driver out of Alabama. That is Bruce Potter and the John. Nothing runs like a deer, race fans. Nothing runs like a deer. Bruce Potter, though, going to try and play a little conservative here. He'll dive to the back of the racing field. So it'll be Bruce Potter right now tagging out the back there with Bob Higgins. Danny Valenzuela running 27th, 28th, and 29th, respectively, on the grid. At the front, though, that Ridgeway machine would really like to see it. Oh, he's up out of the groove, though. Here comes the 42. Max is going to make it 3 wide. Ridgeway to the outside, and that number 39, that Toyota, going to have to hang on. It's going to be a long slide to the back of this train. It is a small little opening, and he's actually going to secure his spot there. He'll go from leading the outside lane now to the 3rd car to the outside lane, but that group now lost a little bit of momentum. We'll see if they can gather it back in here today at Daytona and march his way back to the front of the field. You see a lot of spacing between these drivers here tonight. That's because they don't want to push the envelope all too soon here. As I say that, you see Michael Trevarth and Mr. Wiggle wiggling on the back bumper of the Alien. Brandon Feeney's right there also. He's been quietly just sitting there, the 4th car to the inside. His car got a little darty that time out turn number 2. It got a little darty, but they were able to keep it gathered up underneath them. All 4 wheels pointed in the right direction. That's Peyton Johnson rolling on the bottom side. Also car number 15. He's one of those drivers that will compete for the Rookie of the Year championship this season. We'll see if he can hold on. It's still early. One of the drivers we talked about earlier here tonight not being able to make it. He's a returning driver, but Sean Single on the mend from an off-season injury. So right now, Sean not able to climb into his virtual rank. He's out there tuning in tonight. Sean, we can't wait to see you back in a couple of weeks. Nope, healing up. 39 of Ridgeway going to allow the 15. Peyton Johnson, Big Johnson going to the outside. Somebody towards the back of the field there. Not sure who that was. That may have been... Not sure if that was the 55 of Millen there, or the EcoBoost number 55. That was all seesawy. It was either him or that number 6 of Chris Hammond. Chris Hammond picked up a championship a couple seasons ago here with the series. One driver having some connection problems, it looks like, possibly the number 99 of Cole Day. Timing and scoring blinked out there. Bill does the 99. A Cold Day was sitting on pit road. Well, I can assure you, race fans, if you're a Cold Day fan, he's right there. Last season came in as a rookie, made the playoffs by the skin of his, well, of that awesomely cool hat he has there. I don't know what's cooler, the hat or the shades. But right now, in his sophomore season, Cold Day is running 19th here tonight. Driver to his outside, that's the 31 of Donald Bennett, making his full-time return to the series. Been a couple of seasons since we've seen that 31 run full schedule. Still 2x2 up towards the front of the field, and it is still DJ Anderson leading the way here at Daytona as they work down the back straightaway. Sun shining brightly down the back straightaway here at the Daytona International Speedway. See a couple of those cars getting close to that yellow line down the back straightaway. That is out of bounds. It is in the rules here. You may not go below that yellow line to advance your position unless you are avoiding a wreck, so keep that in mind. It is like almost an inside wall. Do not touch it. Do not go below it. Don't put the race stewards in a position to go ahead and make that kind of call. See the outside lane really not getting that organized. They're able to hold with that front couple drivers, but now it's really starting to break up. The 39 of Ridgeway has now gone down to the bottom side of the speedway. The 15 of Johnson now going to work his way down there. Looking at about, maybe 15 laps away from the green flag pit cycle. If we are to get there, those two drivers still on the outside. That's the 42 of Max Terrell and the 62 of Ethan Troutman. Troutman in the off-season, he's an avid die-cast collector. And I'm trying to pull it up because I want to get it right. He had sent me a picture over the off-season. We talk about die-cast pretty often and him going to Bristol, Tennessee because, well, he's not too far from the racetrack. He always takes us out there. I'll get it, race fans. Don't worry. I'll get that pulled up here. We'll get that over there and see if we can get that talked about a little bit later on. Charge, though, here from Max Terriot. Is he going to be able to take the race lead at the line? Max Terriot will now take the race lead here tonight, so he will lead a lap. The second race leader of tonight's race is the 42 of Max Terriot. Max is the second on the all-times win list with the series. There you see that 42 to the outside. How about Tony Strano? Tony Strano is going to be an uncle here in, well, just a couple of months because old Joe, that's right, Joe didn't just change the car number this season, race fans. Joe has a baby on the way, so congratulations to Joe Strano and his wife. I was talking to Joe Strano and how when I had my first son, how my wife's cravings all changed, and we were talking about pickles. My wife was not a pickle eater, that is for sure. Take that for what it's worth, race fans. She did not like those classic dill pickles. Well, she became pregnant, and one of her cravings were pickles, and Joe had it funny because, well, his wife also not a fan of pickles, so maybe she'll get that craving. It's kind of strange, but you just never know. Looking at the field as they run, Ryan O'Donoghue, who sits in the 11th position. Everybody from behind him is single file. The top 10 is 2x2, and then everybody else single filed out here. They just don't want to battle it out early on. There is that Six Rings Racing number 12. That's part-time Eric Stout. He has said for the short track portion of the series that he will no longer carry that badge of part-time Eric. He is going to go for a full season this season. And I continue to say, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. But hey, so far he's 1 for 1 on the season. He was able to finish inside the top 3. It's a good-looking Flow Racing, Six Rings Racing entry there by the driver of that number 12. See if Stout can work himself even closer to the front. He's already picked up 5 spots. The biggest mover, though, so far here tonight has been the Turbo Dork Radical Paints number 98 of Ryan O'Donnell. Working the outside. How about one of those fan favorites we talk about quite often here? In the off-season, well, before the off-season, Mr. Murdoch bought himself a boat. And he's been following the fishermen. And I'm not just talking about here at Daytona, as you see Tony Strano go to the inside lane from the outside lane, but Murdoch, living down there in South Carolina, just a couple miles away from James Skelton. Skelton, an avid fisherman, enters a lot of tournaments. Now, all of a sudden, Richard Murdoch has himself a boat, and he finds himself going fishing. And I also think Murdoch re-enlisted, if I'm not mistaken, during the offseason just a couple of weeks ago. Murdoch's got himself a full schedule of life events. That man's always busy. From beauty pageants, to concerts, to movies, to fishing, to being in the service. One driver moving to the outside lane there. That was the number 61, Dalton Williamson. Williamson, a 3-time champion on the Thursday night short track portion of Red Light Racing. Now trying to make a name, going just full-time racing here on Monday. Has parked the short track series cars this season. Says he's going to focus on the big tracks and see what he can do. He's always tough when he comes down to the short tracks, but here at Daytona, he's been, well, not very good at the Daytona International Speedway or at Talladega. Those small tracks, those short tracks, very good. The intermediate tracks, okay. Big tracks, oof, it gets rough. See those drivers bobbing out of line, trying to get some air to the front dams of their cars, into the radiator to cool those cars down, because when they're tucked up underneath, it gets a little hot. They're come by this time as you see him storm out of turn number 4 towards the flag stand. It'll be 17 laps in the books here tonight out of the 65 scheduled in the season opener. Bruce Potter still hanging on to the back of the field there with Bob Higgins, so they are currently running 28th and 29th. Every driver still inside the lead pack here. It's just under 4 seconds from DJ Anderson all the way back here to Bruce Potter. Danny Valenzuela back here, Rob Higgins, Tim Combs, Chris Hammond, Zach Mitchell, all back there running in the last few kind of handful of positions here. Max Terrell has dumped down to the inside of that front row. Ahead of DJ Anderson, so he will now take control of this race. That'll put the body armor, number 62, Ethan Troutman, to the outside there. See if he can make up any ground. And I lied. I was telling you, race fans, that the text I got during the off-season was from Troutman. It wasn't. Troutman is an avid diecast collector, but I got a message from one of our other drivers here in the series, not here tonight. Dustin Gainey sent me a picture. Now, he picked up a trophy from April 17th of 2005. It was the Samsung Radio Shack 500 from the Texas Motor Speedway. Oh, driver off track. Trouble, trouble, trouble. Couple drivers bouncing around here. One driver, 2 drivers, now sideways and nowhere. The 61 was sitting sideways on the racetrack. Dalton Williamson got involved. Couple drivers getting into each other. We'll get back to that Samsung Radio Shack 500 here after we figure out exactly what just happened through the tri-oval here. Tony Strano went off the racetrack, and then we saw a couple cars. See some, no, it looks like the Victory Junction draft top number 3 looks pretty solid. I don't see any major damage on Tony Strano's machine. There you see the Victory Junction gang group. That number 3 looks pretty solid. what happened here. Tony down on the bottom. Oh, a buck gone wrong from Rhino Donnie to the number 12. Tony goes down, slows it down, gathers it back up, and he was fine, except, oh, Dalton Williamson was sideways on the racetrack in the number 61. And he absolutely got clobbered. Watch the 61 of Williamson here. He's at the back of the group at the top. He just got sideways trying to follow Rhino Donnie up at the top side there. And then watch this. Cole Day barely misses that spinning number 61. Right on board with Cole Day here. Barely missed. The 28, though, not so lucky. So called a 3-car pileup. Everybody to pit road here. So as everybody comes to pit road under the first caution flag of the evening. Max will be the first one off of pit road. It looks like 2 tires and fuel for the 42. Rhino Donnie also coming back out onto the racetrack here, and I expected that crew to take a little bit of time to fix the damage on that 4X Racing Turbo Dork Radical Paints number 98. That right front fender is caved in a little bit, and that will hamper him here a little bit. So as that caution flag came out, Max Terriot was the race leader. We were telling you about Dustin Gainey's, Samsung Radio Shack 500. Well, Sean Single out there texted me and goes, no, that wasn't Texas. Well, yes, it was. I just sent him the picture real quick. Greg Biffle was the winner on that one, and it is a beautiful trophy of cowboy boots, those Justin boots that proudly have sponsored the Texas Motor Speedway for years. Dustin Gainey picking up a, I call it back into more of my time, the first, those early 2000s of stock car racing. Dustin Gainey sharing that with me over the offseason. We thank Dustin Gainey for that. And we talked about also Ethan Troutman, an avid diecast collector himself. Troutman and I sending messages back and forth through the offseason about the diecast that are coming out. I asked him about what this brand new gold paint is and whatnot that's coming out in the diecast for. There was a Kyle Larson question, actually. Kyle Larson has a, well, you guys know, a lot of diecast out there. It's one of Lionel's big money makers for Kyle Larson. Ever since Dale Jr. has kind of retired and went to Chase Elliott, now Kyle Larson selling a lot of diecast for them. Right now, the Troutman, though, back into the 4th spot as we do get the signal from the flag stand to go ahead and double them up. So that pit stop almost right on cue of where these drivers wanted to be. I do suspect here tonight go another 20 laps, and yeah, that puts them right on cue to go 20 and 20 to pretty much round this one out. We're gonna have to make about 21 and 21, actually gonna put you right on that spot. One driver out of tonight's race. We talked about the 61 Dalton Williams, and he was the car that was sitting sideways onto the racetrack. He has pulled it behind the wall. He is done here tonight from the Daytona International Speedway. Sean Single now sending me diecast pictures. He's a Denny Hamlin fan, and, well, anybody that's tuning in out there knows how I feel about Denny Hamlin. We just won't go down that road. I mean, I get it, Sean. It's orange, but, yeah, it's Denny Hamlin. So they will restart with the 42 of Max Terriot to the inside. The damaged turbo torque radical paints number 98 of Rhino Donnie to the outside here. Then it'll be Wells to the inside, Troutman to the outside, Anderson to the inside of row number 3, and Joe Strano to the outside of row number 3. Murdoch will move up there. He'll slot himself in the, it looks like the 7th position with Michael Trevarthen in 8th. Zach Mitchell, James Skelton will round out the top 10 as we get ready to go back racing. Cole Day, Eric Stout, 2 tag the back of the field. Cole Day had to go change his shorts. They are good from what I hear. So with everybody back out onto the raceway, we're ready to go back racing. It'll be 23 laps officially completed here. Green flag up, and Ryan O'Donnell, I'm not sure if he wasn't ready or just didn't find the right gear, because that 42 is going to freight train the number 98. Three wide, Ryan O'Donnell is just not getting up the full song and dance. That car is very wounded, and they smelled it, they knew it. They just put him straight to the outside, and everybody said, see you later, alligator. Now, it's that Ford Mustang to the outside, Ford Mustang to the inside. It's Troutman to the outside with Terrio on the inside, and boy, that outside lane off the front bumper of that Road Rage Accessories number 23 of Joe Strano, new number on that machine. I told him right before the race, I said, that's going to be one I'm going to have to get used to. That time at the line, it was the number 62 of Troutman leading that lap, just 3 cars to the outside lane. Everybody else looking at it here as they come by have pretty much fallen back, single filed in. This could be the portion of the race after that first caution flag of the evening that everybody just settles in and goes. I believe that car that's showing up a little funky on the screen, race fans, if you're looking for an 88 on the timing and scoring tower and you're not seeing it, that's because that is actually Tim Combs. Tim Combs can never figure out what's going on. And I tell you this because the other season he drove a Dodge Camaro, a Hell Kitty Camaro. If you're as confused as it by like I am, I mean, jump on the boat. We're all going together. So there you see the 88, which is actually Tim Combs, 17 on the scoring pile on his transmitter, transmitting 17 here tonight. He's back running in the 13th position. Right ahead of him, that is the number 4, the Stant Analyzer Sousa media entry. And here comes the number 3. Tony Strano trying to pull number 98 of Ryan O'Donnell back to the front. This got kind of a little broken up. A little bit of a pack here, a little bit of a pack there. Single file, 2x2 racing action. Tony Strano just posting his fastest lap of the event. Trying to see who the biggest mover so far here in this race is, and it's actually going to be the Macho Man. They call him the Cowboy, they call him the Macho Man, they call him Rob Higgins. Higgins sent me a picture earlier, and it's literally him dressed up for Halloween like Randy Savage, the Macho Man, holding a box of 26 mild Slim Jims. And I asked him, how many can you fit? And he just laughed at me. Somebody chimed in and said the whole box. A couple drivers that were towards the front of the field that are now towards the back of the field. William Ridgway, Peyton Johnson. They were up there running inside the top 5 here early, as now you see pretty much the entire field has gone single file. They are deep buried into the field here. 22nd, 23rd, 24th for that whole team, actually, because all 3 of their cars are back there. Notice the trend here this season, not just with the Silverados teams back here of Ridgway and Johnson. They have a Toyota, a Chevy, and a Chevy. Well, just behind them, the drivers of the 55 of Millen, the 31 of Bennett, and the 04 of Valenzuela. They're a little more diverse. They got a Ford, a Chevy, and a Toyota. And then Cole Day right behind them in his Chevrolet. Maybe Rick Ware Racing a couple years ago was onto something. Everybody else is just finally catching up. You ever wonder what it looks like from the back of the field, though? Right on board. That's Eric Stout. Stout got a little sideways in that caution flag. He's back here 28th position right now. That's how many cars are out in front of him. Cole Day trying to shake and bake Ricky Bobby slingshot. He lifted out of it, and that could spell trouble because Eric Stout did not go and push that 99. He's tried to slingshot to the outside himself, and just no help when you're at the back of the field. You really need these cars to be stacked up 2 by 2 to make anything happen for you. It's happening, though, for the 43, Joe Strano to the point. He got pushed up there by Michael Dwarthen. Strano Brothers Racing, number 23, now leading the way here at Daytona. Closing in on the halfway portion of this one at the Daytona International Speedway. Remember, tonight's race brought to us by our friends at the Checkered Flag Auto Supply. Checkered Flag Auto Supply located in Ayer, Massachusetts, and it is your one-stop family-owned shop for auto parts. We got to thank the Higgins family for being such a big part here of the red light racing community. Not only sponsoring our Monday night Scrambler series, but also sponsoring the Thursday night short track Scrambler series, as you just saw Michael Trevarthen and Ryan O'Donnell zigzag and wiggle from the outside lane all the way to the inside lane. They leapfrog that number 23 of Joe Strano. There for a while in the early portions of this one, it was the 42 and the 51. That was Terrill and Anderson that kind of had the stranglehold on this group of cars. Here tonight at Daytona, now those two drivers find themselves back running in the 7th and the 9th position currently. Still a long way to go, halfway this time. One driver on the outside was making some ground. That was the 86th Flowertown Animal Hospital entry. There he is, the fisherman, James Skelton. He was up to the outside there, and that 64, Jason Wells noticed it. So Wells jumped up to the outside and said, "Oh, no, you don't, Mr. Skelton. If you're going to the front, I'm coming with you." So now it is Brandon Feeney that will lead at the line. The Beefy Motorsports, number 38, Liquid Molly entry. Now the race leader at Daytona. He leads the halfway portion of this race. First lap led, not a bad lap to lead, which is the halfway spot. Oh, there's the number 2, Michael Trevarthen, pushing on the back bumper of that machine. Trying to get that Liquid Molly Auto Tire and Safety's entry going. There you see the Adventure in pixels, though. It's flying. That's a fast pixel to the outside. Murdoch to the lead. Feeney sideways down to the apron. That's going to check the whole bottom lane up. Michael Trevarthen didn't know where to go, so he wiggled himself into the middle groove. Now James Skelton up to the outside. Everybody getting a little racy here, a little dicey here just past the halfway portion. So old Richard Murdoch, old Dick Duck will now lead the way. Now, since Murdoch took the race lead, look at it. All single file back there. The question is, will they stay single file? Ryan O'Donnell out of line. That's the only car inside the front group of cars. And it looks like that's the number 12 towards the back there. Eric Stout trying to figure out what to do back here. He wants to move up, but none of these drivers are moving up on the bottom side of the speedway. Everybody just kind of holding serve where they're at. They shuffle that number 98 to the outside. He's got that damage we talked about. There's the Ryan O'Donnell entry, the driver out of Canton, Michigan. Just kind of rolling that outside lane there. That damage to the outside not going to be very good. His car's not going to be able to lead a pack, but it may be able to push, as now you see him get in between two of his 4X Racing teammates out there. There you see the Go Bowling, number 8. That is Zach Mitchell. Then you got Ryan Aldani there in the 98. And then that's the number 6, of course, Hammett. They're missing their, well, I guess, the 4th member of that 4X Racing stables. And that is Sean Single. Sean Single on the mend. We talked about that one already. So as they still work down the back straightaway, everybody towards the front of the field still playing nice with each other. A couple drivers starting to make a little bit of a move on the outside. That's the 55, the Eco Boost entry. That is Josiah Millen, the driver out of Kutztown, Pennsylvania. He's linked up with the 31 of Donald Bennett. Lives just down the road in Kutztown, Pennsylvania also. Behind them, you got that 04 Danny Valenzuela in the Rays Energy Drink entry. So Valenzuela's there. Then you got the Rockstar Energy, number 99. Maybe they can both pop the tops on one of those and get their machines motoring around. Back of this pack has started to break up a little bit. Valenzuela getting a little high that time out of turn number 2. On board with Cole Day, looking at that Rays Energy Drink Sour Gummy Worm. I've had that before. It's pretty good. Look how much that 04, though, moving around on the outside. Saw flames come out of the Joshua Buckley entry as he went down into turn number 1. That's what allows this outside lane to really get going. If they're willing to push each other, they will be able to make up a lot of ground compared to that inside group. Peyton Johnson, or actually that is William Ridgway. That kind of looked like he ducked out of line there a little bit. So Murdoch's still leading the way. There should be a green flag pit cycle coming up here. I'm going to estimate about 6 laps when the pit road should open for these drivers if they want to make their final stop of the night. So probably trying to position themselves with their teams and getting all the communication factors going. Hey, when are you coming? When should I come? Should we come together? Our pit boxes next to each other. That is something that is pretty big here. You got to think, yes, we have the virtual pixels that are out there onto the racetrack that are racing around, but green flag pit cycles are some of the hardest because, well, everybody's trying to downshift, grab the brakes, and try to woe up to come to pit road. And then when you do get it woed up coming to pit road, then you got to actually find your pit stall. So if your pit stall is in front of the car, that's in front of you. So picture it. If it's car 1 following car 2, and car 1 peels off to go into his pit stall, and car 2 has to go around him, that's hard to see. Some of these drivers have a really hard time of getting into their pit stall if they are the guy that's farther down pit road. So that is something that we may have to watch for also here a little bit later on when they come to pit road. You see the outside lane, we talked about it. Millen being pushed by the 31 of Bennett and Valenzuela and Cole Day. They have made some hay on the outside. There they come with the big head of steam. 55 of Millen now inside the top 5, and some other drivers joining them on the outside lane there. That was Thomas Ridgway, and I believe the 15 of Peyton Johnson, which just set the fastest lap time of the evening. So Peyton Johnson setting a fastest lap of the night. Eric Stout also. Also moving up from the back of the field. Problems. Cars jumping all out of line here. That is the 64 of Wells down the back straightaway, and Now there's cars spinning. Caution, lights are on the 3 of Tony Strano has gone around. Joshua Buckley, something going wrong with the 64 of Jason Wells there. We watched it, and it all unfolded right there. Tony Strano's Victory Junction gang entry is tore up now. Zach Mitchell tore up also. We're have to really dissect something funky going on with that number 64 of Jason Wells. May have had some computer problems. That's what it looked like. Watch the 3 here. There's the 64 down on the inside, and the 62 gets turned around, then Tony Strano getting turned around off the bumper of the number 4 of Jeffrey Souza. So we'll see if we can go back a little bit farther here. See what happened to that 64. See the 64 jump down to the inside. He knows something's wrong. There goes the 62. He makes it through. Somebody just having a bunch of major connection issues. And then you see the 64 all of a sudden disappeared. He gone. Look at Troutman. He's just going to go down here and yeet across the grass. And he got tagged from behind. So we hate to use lag and connection issues and everything else as a thing to blame. Unfortunately, that's what it was. And now everybody coming to pit road here. This could be the last stop of the day for them. Everybody in. Here comes Murdoch. He's down and away. One driver missing their pit stall. That was Bruce Potter. So it'll be Murdoch and then Skelton, Hammett, Millen, O'Donnell, Bennett, Trevarthen, Valenzuela, Combs, and Terrill is how they come out of pit road. Double driver still down there on pit road. It looks like Wells has returned to his car. Finally getting that car to pit road. But old Murdoch will be now the race leader. When we do go back racing, should be right around the 20 lap marker for these drivers. So what a big move it is going to be for the number 55 of Josiah Millen. There you see him. He worked his way on the outside from the back to the front. He brought Bennett and Valenzuela along with him. They just had gotten to the front right as that caution flag flew. They would have been towards the back, which could have put them in that wreck, but they had made the timely decision to go to the front. We'll see if that plays off big towards the end of this one. Ryan O'Donnell's still been able to hang on with that damage. What do you say we see if we can talk to the driver of that number 98 and see how much damage is actually done to that? Ryan, it's Roger up here in the booth. You got a copy with us?
Sure do.
Well, you sure do. Tell us, you got damage on the right-hand side of this Turbo Dork Radical Paints entry. How much damage is it? Does it affect the car? Are you going to be able to pull this field to victory here tonight?
Oh, now I know where the damage is. Cool, thank you. It hasn't really been affecting me. I guess takes it a little bit longer for me to get up to speed, so I went high the last restart because I just couldn't keep up and I knew it. But once I was behind someone, it's easy peasy.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So now that you know the damage is there, you know you didn't come up to speed. What's going to be the focus points here going towards the end of this one? Are you going to try and find some of those 4X teammates, push them, or are they still on board with pushing this Turbo Dork Radical Paints entry?
I think Zach got caught up in the survey issue that just happened, and Chris went and got refueled, so I think I'm on my own for this one. So I think I just got to keep it clean, keep it in tight, and see what happens.
Well, you always got to keep it tight out there, Ryan. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you very much.
There you hear it. His car doesn't quite come up to speed right away, but once it does, that number 98 can still work with the best of them. The field trying to get themselves lined up here down the back straightaway. We are getting ready to go racing. The lights are out at least. So we'll see when we do go back racing, if it's this time or next time by. The lights are still out, so we see we might grab the green flag here and then see how it all forms. As the green flag is in our flagman's hand here, so it does look like we're going to go. Pace car diving in. The field is set. It is Murdoch and Skelton. Millen and O'Donnell is how we're come back racing here. 21 laps left. Old Murdoch gonna jump out to a huge race lead here. Everybody will come back to him. Ryan O'Donnell's got a, well, that's what it looks like off the back bumper of the 98 of Ryan O'Donnell. That's the 2 of Michael Trevarthen. Just right to the back bumper. Barely, not quite getting there. "21 laps to go. These drivers are not going to be sitting down, settling down. Ryan O'Donnell getting pushed to the lead. Race fans, we just asked him if he was going to be able to lead the pack, and he didn't know. He didn't think so. And there he goes, straight to the top of the boards. Ryan O'Donnell leading here tonight. Viva la Mexico. Danny Valenzuela working on the outside. 3, 4, 5. Wide back there. Everybody scattering out the mid-pack as Michael Trevarthen will dive down to the bottom now to leave. Valenzuela and Anderson working the outside group there with the number 38 of Brandon Feeney. See if Danny can hold on to his Raise Energy drink, because here comes the Baja Blast in the back. Danny Valenzuela will lead his first laps of the season. Valenzuela was a full-time racing competitor here on Monday night about 3 seasons ago. Now Danny here tonight, not getting practice, not getting a qualifying effort in, but he's here now leading with 19 laps to go down the back straightaway here at Daytona. You can see everybody, they are pushing because they are all wiggle, wobble down the back straightaway. Last time I seen cars wiggle and wobble like that, I was leaving the bar at 2 a.m. Look, Rob Higgins back here. He is actually running 16th, and it's still side-by-side because that's the 64 of Wells. Wells a lap down to the field here. He'll just pardon himself, and he'll get out of the way. So ever since Ryan O'Donnell, Michael Trevarthen, and Danny Valenzuela have been able to leapfrog on that outside, DJ Anderson just has not. Now here goes the 2. Michael Trevarthen going back to the outside here. So Trevarthen gonna do the old Jersey shuffle. Trevarthen takes the race lead back from Valenzuela, and he'll bring the 51 of DJ Anderson along with him. They go top side to the bottom side. That'll leave the 38 of Feeney now, along with the old Big Johnson entry. Peyton Johnson, and I'm being told by looking at the scoring, Johnson is a lap down right now in car number 15. Johnson is racing Cole Day for that lucky dog position, and Cole Day is buried in the field. Caution flag were to come out right now. Peyton Johnson, who is seesawing, literally seesawing off the back end of that 38 machine. There's Johnson. Celuratus, legal. Number 15, Peyton Johnson. Well, I guess that's a pretty good pixel shot for your race fans. We told you the racing action wasn't going to calm down after we went back racing. It's 16 to go. And they've been jockeying and, well, trying to find a dancing partner here for the final handful of laps. Bruce Potter in car number 59 has moved up into the 17th running position right now. Just 2 by 2 by 2. It looks like I-95 at rush hour. And just about the same speeds as I-95. Let's see if we can jump on board here with Bennett. This is what it looks like from the driver of the 31's cockpit here. Sitting in the 12th position right now. Inside lane, nowhere to go, following Richard Murdoch. You hear him lifting because if he goes full throttle right now, he'll be up the veterans owned and operated 01 of Murdoch and going nowhere. Feeney was the race leader that time at the line over Michael Trevarthen. There's a lap car, Eric Stout, out ahead of the racing field. Danny Valenzuela wiggling around there, trying to see if he can find some air to the nose of that number 04. To go this time as Eric Stout will take the 12 to pit road. Pit road is the safest place to be if you are not full song and dance here at Daytona. So Stout goes down there. He'll stay out of the way. He does pick up the spot by completing that lap, though, over Joshua Buckley. So a one-spot gain there for Eric Stout by coming back out onto the raceway. Valenzuela thought about going to the outside, dipped back down low. Now he swings the Race Energy Drink entry to the outside. Danny Valenzuela now going to try and lead. Just about 3 wide back there. That's the 39 Ridgeway. Trying to get in there. Josiah Millen is on the outside. Murdoch down to the bottom side. Millen making the outside lane still work for that EcoBoost Ford. Chris Hammond going to go to the inside. He's going to say that is enough of that 3 wide nonsense here at Daytona. As they made that work, they lost touch with the outside lane. Now Peyton Johnson going to jump up there in front of Ryan O'Donnell. And O'Donnell jumps up in front of the 04 of Danny Valenzuela. Trouble. The 38 going around. Brandon Feeney. Josiah Millen. Bennett. Potter. Higgins. Cars everywhere down here. Joe Strano involved in car number 23. Third caution of the night comes out here. Drivers inside the top 5 bringing the caution out. Brandon Feeney, who had a really strong number 38 machine, looks like that is broken on the right front. Feeney gets turned off the bumper of the 55 of Millen, and you see everybody getting involved here. Cars going to the way infield grass. We try to avoid this one. On board with Tony Strano, you see pieces flying everywhere. Cars going down. There's Joe. Joe comes speed racering it in there. Watch the 0-3 here on Ridgeway. He goes way down there, up over the little bit of a hill down there in 3 and 4. And his Wrangler jeans come out looking clean. Right here, watch though as the 38 goes up and then he comes back down right across the nose of that number 55. That is the 39 of Ridgeway also getting involved a little bit there. That was William Ridgeway. He corralled that 39 and kept going. Look at Bennett. Looked like his 31 was going to be all right. He gets involved. The 28 of Potter also involved in the Borla exhaust entry. Bruce Potter, look at the John Deere trying to thread the needle, but unfortunately there's the 40 of Higgins. And that's where Higgins goes spinning, and here comes the 23 of Joe Strano. Max Terriel back there, he is able to blow it up and get through. Well, you thought with 21 laps to go, things were going to be crazy. Now here with 10 laps to go, things are going to get even crazier because when we go back racing, it'll be about, call it 7 laps. Tim Combs chiming in from the driver's seat out there going, he's got 0 damage from that. The server here tonight being a little bit buggy here at Daytona. Looking at cars that were involved, it looks like Tim Combs, Tony Strano, Trent Potter, Bruce Potter, Ethan Troutman, Rob Higgins, Williams Ridgeway, Brandon Feeney, Joe Strano, Donald Bennett, Josiah Millen. All getting damaged somewhere in that wreck. Drivers trying to scoot off pit road here. Quick caution flags here tonight at the Daytona International Speedway because we will already get the one to go from the tower, so it'll be just 8 laps remaining here. Ryan O'Donnell, we talked to him about the damage on the number 98. And look where he is. Ever since we talked to him about that damage on that Turbo Dork entry, he's been able to hold it right there inside the top half of this field. Well, who do you say? Who do you got? Do you have Michael Trevarth and Ryan O'Donnell? Maybe Chris Hamill, Jeffrey Souza, Max Terriel, Tim Combs? What about a wild Bob Higgins here tonight, race fans? He's ran a very quiet race. He's taken his strategy very conservative towards the back of the field. Now it's go time. Drivers that did not make it off of pit road here, the 55 of Josiah Millen did not make his way back out onto the racetrack. It does look like Rob Higgins will come off pit road. Don't know if he'll be able to actually tag the back of the field, but he will be back out onto the racing surface. The only one that is officially retired here, because the 64 of Wells came back, is Dalton Williamson still. He is the only driver that will not finish this one, it looks like, so far. Rack 'em, stack 'em, give him the green flag, and 8 laps to go. Michael Trevarthen with a huge jump here with just 8 laps to go. Holy shamoly, that inside lane had one heck of a run there with Murdoch and Hammond and Anderson. So now that 0-1, the claw's up 0-1. Richard Murdoch will squirt out into the race lead down the back straightaway, and they are still bobbing, wheeling, and weaving. Danny Valenzuela had that number 98 sideways going into turn 3. Ryan O'Donnell able to hang on to that one. Chris Hammett getting a push there to the race lead. His first lap of the evening will be led with 7 laps to go here at Daytona. Anderson all over the back of Richard Murdoch. It's been a couple of seasons since Richard Murdoch has gone to victory lane. Will tonight be the night that Murdoch goes back to victory lane? You never know when it comes to super speedway racing who will be the driver to pick up the W. Trying to look it up here real quick for Richard Murdoch. Last time that he was able to go to victory lane was back in 2021. That was at Phoenix in the 1987 machine. Does have 6 wins to his career here with the series. Oh, he's going to check up the bottom lane. He was down on the apron sideways. Car's going down to the inside. That's the 62. Beating and banging towards the front of the field. They're 4 wide. Max Terriol, he'll make the pass. Max is back into this one with 5 laps to go. Max Terriol finds himself running into the 4th spot now as they were 3 wide, and everybody. When I say the Jersey Shuffle, race fans, that was definitely the Jersey Shuffle. They shuffle Murdoch well outside the top 10. And they got Chris Hammett the race lead somehow, and they're trying to run away with it, but they won't be able to run because here comes the 51, DJ Anderson. Great run by Anderson. He'll dive to the outside. He'll bring Ryan O'Donnell with him. O'Donnell going to get that forward right to the back end. See what kind of shove he can give him. 4 laps to go, and this one is looking like it's going to get crazy. Anderson surging ahead, but the inside lane will come back. 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. There's Jeffrey Souza in the mix. He hasn't been there all night long. Now they're going to go 3 wide down the back straightaway. Bruce Potter going to be in the middle. How far can they make it? 3 wide. That's Peyton Johnson well to the outside there, just outside the picture frame. That's Murdoch, and there's Higgins down to the inside. And oh, Murdoch going to go up into the wall. Stay green for the time being. Him and Johnson sliding. Johnson will slide it to the inside. He stays down on the grass, so a great save there by Johnson. He'll stay down to the bottom side. We stay green flag racing with 3 laps to go here at Daytona. So that'll take Peyton Johnson out of this one. That'll take Murdoch out of this one. It's still anybody's ball game. Down the back straightaway. Look at them all jockey. 1 car up into the outside wall. Bruce Potter. He'll get turned around. Potter going to get turned around. The John Deere Ford with 3 laps to go will put us under caution. We wrecked about a half a dozen times in the last lap and a half, and unfortunately this time Bruce Potter in that beautiful looking John Deere entry will be the cause of the caution. There you see him on the, he's in the middle there. It looks like the 62. Ethan Troutman tried to go to the outside. Wasn't quite a hole. Bruce came up just a little bit also. And there was a hole, and there was a little hole, and then there wasn't a hole anymore. I want to go back a lap. They tell me they do have it. Peyton Johnson right there. Him and Murdoch bouncing off each other. Look at Peyton down there. That started about 100 yards back. Watch it here. Johnson was going to the outside of Murdoch. Murdoch came up a little bit. But that's not what put us under the caution flag. What put us under the caution flag was the 59 of Bruce Potter and the 62 of Troutman coming together. So how overtime works here on Monday nights with the Red Light Series is these drivers, they do get 3 green-white checker attempts. This will count as green-white checker attempt number 1 once we do go back racing. Green-white checkers are, well, we take the green, we run a lap, we get the white, we come back around, and whoever's the first one to the line is going to be the winner. We have 3 opportunities. If we take the white flag, the race is over. It is the race back to the line for the checkered flag. If we don't get the white, well, we got 2 more times. We'll do it again. Race fans, while we're under the caution flag, we do got to thank you once again. It's been the push for 3,000 all summer long, and now that the summer has come to a close, we have just officially, on Sunday night, we hit that 3,000 subscriber mark here on YouTube, so we got to thank all the race fans that are tuning in here. If you're not subscribed and you have not hit the bell yet here, make sure you go ahead and do that. Make sure to bring, well, we're bringing you all the racing action, so you want all the notifications, right? Hit the bell, get the notifications anytime we come live with Red Light Racing here on Mondays and Thursdays, or whether it's Dave in the Cave, KR, Al, Brett the Jet, any of us bringing you that live racing content here from iRacing.com. So after tonight, what do we have left in the week? Well, we got the short track series. We head to the New Smyrna Speedway on Thursday night. We get the old street stocks out. 100 laps of old-fashioned short track racing action around the New Smyrna Speedway. That's on Thursday night. And then where do we go? On Monday night? Well, it's the Iowa Speedway next Monday night here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, October 2nd. We get the Gen 4 Cup car out and we head to the Iowa Speedway. A lot of power, not a lot of track in the middle of a cornfield. Make sure you bring your corn-fed, injected machine to try and pick up the win there. We are going to get the 1-to-go marker this time, so we're getting ready. We're doubling back up 2x2 through the field here tonight. Looking at the next couple of races here on Monday night, I talked about it. We go to Iowa next week. Then in 2 weeks, we head to the North Wilkesboro Speedway, the 1987 configuration. We'll also get out the 1987 cars. That's right, we're going to have the Chevrolet, the Ford, the Buick, and the Pontiac. That's right, the brand new Pontiac added here into iRacing before we head to the Watkins Glen International Speedway on October the 16th for an all-out brawl up in the wine country here in New York. That's in the NASCAR Next Generation machine. Then we head to the Texas Motor Speedway with the Xfinity car on October the 23rd. And then how about Halloween? Yeah, that's right, October 30th. We bring out the NASCAR truck for the first time at the Bristol Motor Speedway. That's going to be a good one. Those are the first 6 races of the season. Can't wait to see how those all turn out. Racing here tonight at the Daytona International Speedway has been good. You see the drivers funneling into the back of the field here. We're ready to go. It'll be Chris Hammett to the inside, DJ Anderson to the outside, Michael Trevarthen to the inside of row number 2. To the outside of row number 2 will be the number 98 Ryan O'Bonney. Be Max Terrill and Jeffrey Souza. All Fords in the top 6 but 1. There is a lonely Toyota. It's the most diverse field of cars I've ever seen, by the way, race fans. Normally we see a lot of fields here on iRacing dominated by the Chevrolet. Not here. Not on Monday night with Red Light Racing. It is about a 50-50 split. Maybe give the nod to the Blue Oval gang. Here we go. Green-white checker attempt. Number 1. Uh-oh, no! Uh-oh. Yard sale, front straightaway. Yard sale. I think we might have 2 clean cars come out of that. They're still wrecking. I mean, we're gonna watch it, race fans. Don't worry. We're gonna go back. We're gonna watch it from the green flag. DJ Anderson there still trying to get going. Let's just watch it. Let's just slow it down and watch it. Here we go. Looks like the 6 of Hammett when he spins the tires. It comes straight up the track into DJ Anderson. And as they start to spin, it collects everybody. I think Tony Strano may be the perfect only car to come out of this one. Because look, this is the back of the field. They're still piling in here. Josh Buckley, Bruce Potter, Cole Day. Right on board. This is from Tim Combs. Barney the flagman got a workout on that one. Straight from yellow to green to yellow again. Let's watch the 3 of Strano here. He's the 4th car to the inside row. Him and Max get away. I'm going to say they are the first cars that get away that are 100% clean. Rhino Donnie was being scored up here towards the front. His car's tore up, though. So it's a lot easier for me to tell you the cars that were not involved in that race, fans, and there's only one. That one right there. Tony Strano, the only car that was not involved in the wreck. I don't quite know what to say. I'm a little speechless on that one. And I mean, if anybody knows me, that is something to be said, because Roger always has something to say at some point. Don't know if I've seen a wreck that has collected all but one driver out there on the racetrack. And I'm also looking at that 42. I don't think Max has that much damage, if any. I think maybe a little crinkle on both fenders. Little scrape with a splitter there. We can see the paint, the wrap has been torn away. Rhino Donnie, his car is not going to go on this start. I can tell you that much, as it looks like he knows that, and maybe he's going to come. He's got wheel damage. He's got a little bit of everything going on with the radical paints on that one. So Rhino Donnie going to make the smart decision. He'll come to pit road. So that'll leave Max being scored as the race leader. It looks like a 1 to go. We're getting ready this time to go back racing, and you can see there are some tore up cars towards the front of this one. I believe that is the 03 of Thomas Ridgway. He is going to start right around the 8th position. 7th position, and that car has no back end and no front end. We'll see if the 03 Wrangler machine can get up to speed. Bruce Potter with the John Deere entry. We saw him earlier. Let's see if we can get a word in with Zach Mitchell here. Zach Mitchell, it's Roger up here in the booth. What is going on down there?
Racing out to kill us tonight, I guess. We had 5 of us just, I don't know if you'd see it on the broadcast, but wreck with me and Jason Wells, there's 5 of us that got dropped out of the session, and apparently everybody else on the grid could see us except we couldn't see any of them, so I didn't know I hit anybody until I came back in. So it looks like an issue with iRacing servers there for a couple minutes, and some really bad netcode on that last one, I guess.
So a lot of drivers tore up. Who's left out there?
Well, my teammates were up there until the bad netcode, but let's see if good old Tony Strano can pull one out tonight.
There it is, Zach Mitchell telling us a lot of netcode going on out there tonight. He is out of this event, being scored back in 24th place. That's where he will finish tonight's race out in green-white checker attempt number 2 here. Getting ready to go back racing. Strano and Terriol. Green flag back into the air. Here we go. Max Terriol with a huge lunge out ahead of the field, and you see a lot of cars not coming up to speed, some cars coming up to speed, everybody trying to bob and weave and dodge and dart like a dart without feathers. Max Terriol getting out to the race lead, but it's Daytona. That draft is going to bring these drivers back, and here comes Tony Strano. Strano, trouble towards the back of the field. Peyton Johnson up against the outside wall. We stay green for the time being. We'll see if that's going to trigger. Here comes the number 2, Michael Trevarthen. Trevarthen right to the back bumper. Where does Michael Trevarthen go? It'll be the white flag this time if we get to the line with no issues. The white flag is up. This race will end the next time around. It'll be the first driver that comes back around here tonight as the winner. Cole Day has now found himself running in 4th, but it looks like he might be just a little bit too far back here. Where does Tony Strano go? Does he make the move? Does Michael Trevarthen go with the 3, or does Trevarthen try to make the move himself? Down the back straightaway. Cole Day closing in, but not fast enough here tonight. Big bump by Trevarthen to the back of the 3 of Strano. Strano tucked up right underneath that 42. Last time out of turn 4, it'll be the drag race to the finish. Strano got a side draft. It'll be side by side. It'll be a duel to the finish. Tony Strano will win his first race ever in the season opener here in season number 16. Tony Strano going to victory lane tonight. He will edge out Max Terriol by .02 at the line. So it'll be Strano, Terriol, Trevarthen, Day, and how about Trent Potter with his first ever top 5 in the series? And Souza, Higgins, Ridgway, Valenzuela, and Bruce Potter rounding out the top 10 here tonight. So Tony Strano gonna punch his ticket here at Daytona straight into the playoffs. Look at it coming out of turn 4 here again. By about a tire. As there it is, Tony Strano, your winner here tonight. He'll be the first one to head to the Feeney Call victory lane for our post-race show. So as he does the donuts, race fans, we'll take a quick step away here from the Daytona International Speedway, and we'll be back with the post-race show brought to us by our friends over at the Feeney Call.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome back here, race fans of the Daytona International Speedway, here tonight for the season opener for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series, presented by Red Light Racing. What a race it has been well, I say has been. That's because I feel like this isn't over. I feel like we're going again, race fans, the way this one ended here tonight, but it is officially over. What do you say we head to our post-race show, brought to us by the Feeney Call? Catch the racing action over at the Feeney Call with Brandon Feeney behind the microphone. So now it's time to get to the top three finishers. Let's start things off with the driver that will finish third here tonight. What do you say, Mike? It was a great race for this number 2 machine. You spent a lot of the race out front here, and then all of a sudden the chaos at the end of this one, and then the charge out of turn 4.
It was a good race altogether. First and foremost, hats off to Tony. It's been a little minute since I've seen him up here with us, and put in a hell of a drive. Good drive to there to Max as well. A little bit of drama there with the first green-white checker. Not sure what happened there. It looks like the front row got locked together there and kind of spun the whole field and kind of got us turned around. I only had enough fuel for that second green-white checkered, so I was forced to pit anyway. Went ahead and fixed a little bit of the damage, and obviously there was a lot of cars with some damage, and I still had a rocket ship under me and was able to power past most of them there coming out of 4. A hell of a race with all the guys there. A lot of fun.
You talk about having to come to pit road, put some fuel in the old breathing Dragon, and then were you able to work your way through the there was a lot of tore up cars out there that looked like they didn't quite come up to speed?
I honestly think the seas parted just at the right time. The slow lane started to let up, or the top lane get up a little bit, and then I jumped down and it was wide open down there, and then back to the top. So had there been a wall of cars there, I think it wouldn't have worked out like that, but luckily we were able to shower the fuel to it and bring her home third.
Well, a great start to the opening round of the season here tonight, Mike. You had a great Thursday night. You have a great Monday night, so a good start to both series here. Who makes it all possible back home in the sunny state of Florida?
First and foremost, big shout out to Rev Esports. We unload bullets just about everywhere we go. Got some fast cars. They come out of the box fast. So, like I said, hats off to the team with Josh and Dalton. Big shout out to the red light drivers here. Big shout out to the admins. You, Turn 3 Racing Network, in the booth there, Roger. You guys do a great job. And give a shout out to the family.
There it is. Michael Trevarthen unloads bullets, he says, and he was able to, well, make those bullets zig and zag at the end of this one. He'll rally back for a third-place finish here tonight. A driver that, well, looked at one point that you might have been down and out, Max, but then the seas parted, the cautions fell, and you found yourself right at the front of this one at the end. How did you get through that green-white checker, though, that chaos that kind of like ensued there on that first green-white checker? Looks like we don't have Max here for the time being. What do you say we let Max figure his microphone out? We'll be right back to him. What do you say we jump up ahead here? How about Tony Strano? Tony, you pick up the big W here tonight. Man, this one's got to feel like a relief, but where did you come from, Cotton Nigel? You were the only driver to come through that green-white checker wreck unscathed.
Yeah, I don't know how I did it. Really, all I can say is just wow. Like, it to go from being the first caution, then to whatever happened on the second one, it just looked like a ton of connectivity issues, getting some damage coming down pit road, getting it fixed, and then, yeah, just being able to part the seas and ending up having a great battle with Max there at the end. Just, all I can say is wow.
Coming to that white flag there with you behind Max, you saw the two of Trevarthen coming. What was in the back of your mind? Did you know when you were going to pull out a line? Did you know what kind of move you were going to make?
Yes and no. I mean, it all came down to really what Mike was doing, because if he pulled out, I mean, I was going to try to block him and see if I can get in front of him, but I had my spot and I took it and just side drafted the crap out of Max and just prayed that I got in front of him.
Did you know as soon as you crossed the line that you were ahead by the splitter of that car, or did it take you closer to turn one to realize that it lit up on the timing and scoring as car number 3?
It was the end of the tri-oval that I looked down and saw a P1, and I couldn't help but start freaking out. You know, every single time we come here to a super speedway, I feel like I wreck out. I was going for the lead a few years ago at Talladega, got sent into the fence, and it's just finally good to win at a track that I always know I could win at.
Before you came into the night tonight, do you know how many top 5s you had before this?
3?
1. 1 top 5 in your last 152 starts here with the series, and now you're able to put your name on the list of drivers that have picked up wins, and that is a very short list here on Monday night. How does that feel now to be on the list of drivers like Sean Butler, DJ Anderson, Ryan O'Donoghue, along with Max, Terry Alt, and James Skelton?
Insane, because I feel like every single week it's either Max or Butler lapping me, you know, either once or twice, wherever we go, other than super speedways, which is why I feel so confident here at every single time we come here. But yeah, it's crazy. I never thought I'd win a Monday night, so it's good, really good feeling.
Well, it's great to hear you, Tony. It's good to see you. And by the way, you have officially punched your ticket to the playoffs.
That sounds great. Now we just gotta see what we can do in the playoffs, see if we can get to the championship 4.
Well, that's all you got to try here. Before we let you go, Tony, I know it's a long-awaited win here, and there's a lot of people right now that are out there in the chat blowing you up. Who do you got to thank for parking this number 3 finally in victory lane?
I mean, first and foremost, my brother Joe. I mean, we've been partnered together with I don't even know how long now, and you know, he's always been pushing me to be better and everything like that. Red Light guys, I mean, we put on a hell of a show every single week, so it's really good to be on top of it for once. All the family back home, I know for sure my mom is watching, grandma's watching, love you both, and if any of my other family's watching, love you all, and thank you. It's a pleasure.
There it is, your winner here tonight. He finally goes to victory lane. After 152 starts, Tony Strano picks up his first career win. He punches his ticket for the first time ever. He will go playoff racing here on Monday night. So congratulations to Tony Strano, and a greatly timed move by him to go ahead and pick up his first win right here at the Daytona International Speedway. Let's see if we can dial back up the driver of the 42 of Max Terrill. Max, do you finally have us here tonight?
Yep, I catch me.
Oh, it looks like, Max, you found the microphone button here, but hey, walk us through that those final 2 restarts there. What could you have done better, and how did you stay out of that chaos?
Probably needed to drift up on the exit of 4 just to try to take away the outside, but being only 3 way out in the front, it all depended on who the number 2 would go with, so he still made a great move. I thought he might have been too close to my bumper in 4 and not have enough momentum, but that side draft worked, and he had enough of a push from the 2's draft, and yeah, I was a sitting duck in the inside, but still, it's better than wrecking like it happened the previous restart.
Yeah, what did you see on that previous restart from where you were seated in that lineup?
Yeah, I didn't see a thing. I was so close to Trevarthen right in front of me. All I saw is bumper, and then I didn't even see the what happened on the outside car. Just saw the 6 sideways, and I was contacted just the right way to keep the car straight. Didn't have damage it too much, and it showed at the end that I still had speed, so that was good.
So a second place finish here, you got to chalk that up as a win because the super speedways are always either hit or miss. You kind of flip of a coin.
Yeah, I haven't won yet at Daytona, so I would have definitely taken one, but it always goes north or south here. So last time, I think it was way back in 29th or 30th, I finished with some of my worst results. So the second place, of course, it's definitely a close win that will bank for the start of the season.
Well, it's good to see you back in action here on Monday night, Max, going for another championship. A good start to this one, second place. But hey, that car's still got a lot of the same guys on it. Who are they?
Yep, as usual, my fiance, my friend Max, and my dad, they're watching back live on turn 3 and back for season, I don't know, 16, I think. Josh, James, and Richard for running this Scrambler series, and Checkered Flag Auto Supply for being a title sponsor. And yeah, good start to the season, and we'll see you guys next week.
There it is, Max Terrill found his microphone button here, race fans. He started second. He'll finish second. He's the only driver here tonight. Oh, I lied. I talked too soon. Him and Josiah Millen are the only 2 drivers to start and finish in the same positions. Max for second, though. You heard from Tony Strano. He's the big winner here tonight, picking up his first career win with Red Light Racing. Max Terrill finished second, with Michael Trevarthen finishing third. Let's see if we can drop down those results here for you, race fans. I think we can get that to pop up, or maybe it broke. Well, we're just running down here for you tonight. There's the top 3. Max Terrill was second. Michael Trevarthen was third. Cole Day was fourth. Trent Potter finishes his best career finish there into the 5th position, with Jeffrey Souza in 6th. Rob Higgins the 7th. How about William Ridgway? He will finish in 8th. A top 10 finish here tonight for Danny Valenzuela. Bruce Potter from a spin to finishing 10th for the number 59 of Bruce Potter. Tim Combs will finish in the 11th spot, while Donald Bennett will finish right there in 12th. 13th will go to Bob Higgins. Not bad for starting way back. Shotgun to the field here tonight for Bob Higgins. It'll be 13th. Brandon Feeney will cross the line into the 14th spot, while Peyton Johnson will finish 15th. 16th will go to the number 6 of Chris Hammett. James Skelton will finish in the 17th spot. Ethan Troutman into the 18th spot, while Thomas Ridgway crosses the line 19th. Jason Wells from being dropped out to coming back, he'll finish in 20th. Ryan O'Donnell 21st. Richard Murdoch 22nd. DJ Anderson 23rd. Joe Strano 24th. Zach Mitchell 25th. Joshua Buckley 26th. 27th to Josiah Millen. Eric Stelt 28th. And rounding out the field, that'll be Dalton Williamson. That's your unofficial results here from the Daytona International Speedway. What a day it was to see a first-time winner in the series. Right there is his car. The number 3 of Tony Strano picks up the big W here tonight at Daytona. If that's what Daytona brought, what's the next race going to bring for us, race fans? We talked about it. We head to the Iowa Speedway next week, from the big high banks of Daytona to the cornfields in Iowa. And until we see you there, race fans, make sure everybody stays safe, and we will see you in turn 3.